Good evening, I'm Jacob Reimer. The first college football playoff rankings will be revealed tonight. Timmy Hall and Tyvis Powell react to the rankings on the Fans YouTube at 8 o'clock. The college football playoff will begin the weekend of December 19th with a triple header on December 20th. Ohio State linebacker Arvell Reese was named National Defensive Player of the Week for his performance against Penn State with 12 total tackles, 2.5 tackles for a loss, and 1 sack. The Buckeyes will visit Purdue on Saturday. Also in college football, action begins tonight. Akron hosts UMass and Miami of Ohio visits Ohio. The NFL trade deadline closed today with the New York Jets making the biggest moves. First trading cornerback Sauce Gardner to the Colts for 2 first-round picks and wide receiver Adonai Mitchell. And they traded defensive tackle Quinnen Williams to the Cowboys for a first and second-round pick. The Cowboys also acquired linebacker Logan Wilson from the Bengals in a trade earlier today. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Learfield. This is the Buckeye Roundtable Show presented by Burger King and brought to you statewide by the American Dairy Association Mideast and Cova Insurance, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers on the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with former OSU All-American Jim Lachey and the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, here's your host, Skip Mossick.
And hi again, everyone. Welcome into another Buckeye Roundtable show as top-ranked Ohio State improves to 8-0 following their 38-14 win over Penn State. 2 hours of Buckeye and college football talk coming your way. Joined as always by former OSU All-American, NFL All-Pro, Jim Lachey. Great to see you again.
Great to see you. Did you vote today?
I did.
All right.
My civic duty. Hall of Fame coach, former Ohio State head coach John Cooper. It's great to be with John Cooper.
Always good to be with you guys and talk football.
Hall of Fame broadcaster, longtime voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
November football is here.
Yes, it is. Coach Ryan Day will join us later this hour. Coach Cooper, let's start with you. You had some really good teams during your career. What is the most impressive thing you're seeing from this Ohio State team?
This team has gotten better every week. Every week. We got a lot of coaches, and they're coaching them hard. They're working on fundamentals. They're getting better. Our quarterback's getting a lot better. Our running backs are getting better. Offensive line, I think, is getting needs to keep getting better, but they're getting better. And defense has been outstanding. You think, oh, we lost a great defensive coordinator last year. We played great defense last year. We're not going to be as good. We're not. Maybe we're not as good. We might be better. We might be better. So I think they're doing a great job of coaching. I think right now, there's no question we're the best team in the country.
Paul, we're running out of ways to describe the numbers we're seeing from Julian Sand. 20 of 23, 316, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. I know there are some good ones out there, but how strong is the argument that he's the best quarterback in the country?
Very strong, because when you think about what he's done, his accuracy, limiting turnovers, and the way he's just been able to put balls on target, it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning, Skip, the way that he's been able to make it look easy.
It's not, again, I'm going to keep counting all of the synonyms that we come up with for stunning. Jim, Bo Jackson went over 100, aided by a 51-yarder. How important is the ground game? And I guess, do people make too much of it? And I guess, does it matter because of the strength of Ohio State's passing game?
I think for our ego it matters. You want to have a running game. I think they have enough talent throwing the football, though, that they can, that's going to keep them in a lot of games. Obviously what Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate are able to do, Brandon Ennis stepping up, catching the plays across the middle, and that's not even getting to our tight ends. So that passing game is very good, but that should help open up the running game, and I think it did. And, there's always that wear you down factor that you want, being physical at the line of scrimmage. Any offensive line will still tell you they'd rather run block than pass block. But, if you better have some production, otherwise they're going to make you pass block a lot more.
They keep doubling those wide receivers. You got to run the ball. You got to run the ball. Now, I think eventually we need to run it with 2 running backs. I'm not sure we can continue to play 4 down the stretch. I think you pick out the best 2, and work them hard in practice. You and I both watch a lot of practice. They're going to get a lot of reps. You play those 2 guys the most.
No, I agree, Coach. I think the 2 young guys have really showed up. I'm not giving up on C.J. Donaldson. I think he's a guy that can step up, especially in short yardage. The only thing is, and you got to give him credit, he had to fumble in the second quarter. When they were trying to get points, we're in that 2-minute drill right before the half. First play, boom, you turn it over, and kind of backfires on you. And everybody's like, why'd you run the ball? Just keep throwing it. But I think there's also opportunities for James Peoples to be involved in this offense, because I think he's awful good at picking up blitzes and things like that.
Doesn't happen very often, guys, that two receivers go over 100. That's what we had Saturday from Smith and Tate with 3 touchdowns between them. Was it just me, or could you kind of see that double team going back and forth between the two and just seeing it right away and pitching it to the other guy?
Absolutely, and that's why you saw Brandon Ennis factor in the things the way that he did, and there's always the tight end component.
Coach, you've been telling us all season you can't double them all.
You can't double them all. If you double them all, that tight end's open down the middle, or he's open down the middle.
Yeah.
We'll discuss halftime adjustments, the Buckeye defense, and when is targeting not targeting. All that and more coming up in our next segment. Tonight's broadcast, as well as all of our Buckeye Roundtables throughout the season, are available on our flagship station's YouTube page. Simply search WBNS Radio on YouTube. You can watch it live or later if you miss any part of it. You can also download the Buckeye Roundtable podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to subscribe to both. Fans, you can win a catered party for up to 20 people at your home for an away game this season, plus a behind-the-scenes tour of Ohio Stadium for 10. It's the Giant Eagle Tailgates and Tour Sweepstakes. It's presented by Pop-Tarts, Rice Krispie Treats, and Coca-Cola. Register today at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/tailgates for your chance to win. Saturday, Ohio State is at Purdue. We'll be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 11:30 a.m. Up next, our 60-second timeout as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Ohio State fans. Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Always and forever your home of the Buckeyes. Home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper, I'm Skip Mossick. Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Join partners American Electric Power, Donato's, Kroger, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS-TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/BuckeyesCare.
Buckeye Roundtable, 60-second timeout.
All right, fellas, we saw a couple of things Saturday we haven't seen too often this season. A Buckeye fumble led to a Penn State touchdown late in the first half to make it just a 3-point game at halftime. We heard Coach Day with Tyler coming out of the locker room. He was not happy. It wasn't like Ohio State was playing poorly in the first half, but what did you see the Buckeyes do to begin the second half, basically to say, no, not today, Penn State?
Stretching it out with things, and he talked about in his press conference today, they went with a particular play that they had just dreamed up at halftime. Dreamed up's maybe not the right word, but they had just put in the locker room at halftime. And, I think what it was, Skip, is seeing again what the defense, how they're adjusting to what Ohio State's attempting to do. And I don't know if you want to say it was a little more urgency, a little more of a thought to go over the top, but there's no question, because he's been banging the gavel about take care of the football, and seeing that happen when it has happened so infrequently really was a thorn in his side.
Coach Cooper, what do you think coming out of the second half?
I thought we made some great, and I emphasize great halftime adjustments. There's no question about it. I think we realized they might be trying to cover us a little bit, man-to-man coverage. We went out and hit 2 home runs in the third quarter. I thought it was a great halftime adjustment. I think that's where we won the game.
All right, Ohio State, the defense, they gave up a pair of scores in the red zone. Jim, what did you see that Penn State was able to do to allow success in the red zone that basically everybody else Ohio State's played has been unable to?
No, they were able to block some guys up, right, and get some people, helmets on good leverage, get below guys, get some movement, and, some creativity. They went out wide there, and, they kind of outflanked us on that play, was able to get in the end zone, and the other time it just was a short yardage situation where they got a little bit of movement against us. And, that's something, we go back to last year when Cade McDonald was able to shut him down there in the fourth quarter, and, he just kept backing him up. But, they were able to win that battle and find a way to get in the end zone there to make it a close game and a half. But I agree with you guys. I mean, it's good to go in the locker room tested. Coach Day also said, he goes, I kind of looked around and, to make sure no one was panicking, and no one was, which was a good thing. So they were able to come out and put together a plan and, score 3 out of 4 drives. They had a punt and took a knee, but they went up there and took care of business.
All right, speaking of the defense, Arvell Reese was named the National Defensive Player of the Week following his 12-tackle game with a sack, 2.5 TFLs. We've seen some good ones over the years. Coach Cooper, you had a couple of them yourself. But this is something else. Besides his talent, is there a scheme maybe we're seeing that's allowing Reese to flourish like he is?
I think it's both. But I got to be honest with you. Start the year, who is this guy? He didn't start last year, I don't think, did he?
No, behind Cody Simon.
I wonder, where is this guy? Where is this guy? And you don't have to look at that very long to realize what a great athlete he is. You watch practice, he's out there working his butt off in practice. He's gotten better each week. He's got some great coaching. Some outstanding coaching. And right now, there's not a better linebacker in college football.
Size and speed, and he can line up all over the field. He can, line up as a defensive end. He can drop back in coverage. And it all goes back to Skip, them showing all the different looks that can kind of at times get the offense off balance.
Jim, this is the time of year where the semifinalists for season national awards are announced. Reese and Styles for the Butkus, those two, plus Caden Curry for the Lombardi. This is on a defense where there were some questions, as Coach Cooper alluded to, coming into the season.
A lot of questions. We placed a lot of starters, and those guys are playing in the NFL right now that they had to replace. So, no, it was. You didn't know at the beginning of the year, but now week in and week out, you start to see it. And coming off another dominating performance, we talked about some of the keys in that ball game. You got to shut down the rushing attack. They were able to do that. Got to get pressure on the quarterback, and they were able to do that. But Arvell, why he's so hard to prepare for is that everybody has to prepare for him. It's not like he's lining up over the left tackle or the right tackle. He's over the guards. He's over the center. Gets on a tight end, and then he can go out there and get on a back in coverage. And so, everybody has to prepare for him, and it's hard to get, one guy in scout team that can play all those positions to duplicate, because what he's doing is unduplicated, so to speak. No one's done that, what he's been able to do for so many different positions.
I couldn't agree with you more. You don't know if he's going to drop back and play pass defense. You don't know if he's going to rush a passer. You don't know if he can tackle from sideline to sideline. That's the thing that separates.
You can't run away from him.
You cannot run away from him. No.
You try.
And you don't want to run straight at him.
He's going to catch you. Guys, I think we were all a little surprised that Caleb Downs was not called for targeting on a big hit late in the game after seeing it a number of times now. Can you explain why it was not targeting?
No. I only saw it once afterwards.
Well, on the field it was called. They went up to the replay booth, and something up there, they were able to overturn it. I don't know what they saw that would overturn it. They
didn't call it targeting. They said, we're going to check for targeting.
Yeah, and they didn't find it.
Right.
They didn't find it. So that's a good thing is that, there is a review that and we've seen so many times. I mean, that it comes back to haunt Ohio State. We saw it in the national championship. We saw it, Nick Bosa and I think it was Joe Bosa against Notre Dame.
Yeah, it was.
First play of the game, we saw it against Iowa. Defensive. So, it's it's went against us so many times. And this time, I think we caught a break, but that's almost like going to Vegas playing red or black. I mean, you don't know what to vote on it because it's hard to kind of figure out what it is. But I thought the way he led and launched, with his face mask, so to speak, that was going to be a textbook targeting. But I'm glad he's playing.
As confused.
I agree. I thought at first, he's going to be kicked out. He's not going to play the first half of next week's game. But when you look at the replay, I don't think he actually led with his headgear.
A little bit more shoulder.
Yeah, more shoulder, yeah.
Yep.
And again, we were talking during the break, guys, as confused as the officials and specifically the referee was at times on Saturday. He messed up the coin toss, for goodness sake. I wish all officials would make the call as he did, though, which was personal foul, unnecessary roughness. We will review for possible targeting. That way, there's going to be a penalty. You're not wiping out a penalty. They're just looking to see if targeting was in addition to the unnecessary roughness.
Absolutely. But then the onus is put on them to determine if there's targeting. So since it's not part of the initial call, and maybe, we've heard all that, is there indisputable evidence?
They only called 4 penalties all game, 2 in each team. Ohio State
So they weren't used to it.
Yeah. Didn't we hit the punt returner, too, that was a penalty in that ball game?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like interference.
Kick. Yeah. Right. So those are our 2 15-yard penalties right there.
All right, guys, last thing. Penn State came in losing 4 straight by a combined 13 points. The Buckeyes got them by 24. We always do it. Rate the opponent.
You want to say incomplete because you're used to seeing Penn State have more offensive talent, and you're used to seeing them have a dominant defensive player or two. They don't have a dominant defensive player. They don't have a game-changing wide receiver, and you've still got a quarterback who's only making his second start of the year, and that seemed to hamstring. You could see the talent of the 2 running backs, which was not surprising. And, Jim, I wonder, they've played better on the offensive line than what we saw also.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Dennis Sutton, number 33, is a good defensive end, and, he would be a guy that you wouldn't mind having on your team. I wouldn't pick any of the receivers. Of course, Singleton and Allen, what they've done over their career, you kidding me? They both have over 3,000, both top 4 active backs, in FBS right now. So those are good quality, guys to have. But, their defense wasn't like it has been in the past.
Indiana at Michigan State, Nebraska at home at Rutgers. Do they win a Big Ten game this year, Coach Cooper? Does Penn State win a Big Ten game this year?
No. I think they're done. I think they're done.
I think they could win the last 2. And Nebraska now, because Rail is out for the year, that may change that.
Where is that game? Do we know?
It is it's home.
At Penn State.
Penn State, yeah.
And Rutgers,
I think they could get Rutgers.
Yeah. And I think now they could get Nebraska.
We never thought.
Can we think,
in the middle of summer, Lachey saying, I think Penn State can get Rutgers.
Yeah. I think they got a lot of players on that team that's going to be drafted, so they don't want to get hurt the rest of the year. They got a lot of players on that team that's probably going to
business decisions.
Get in the portal, and they're going to do it right now because they can go right now.
Well, they got to win the rest to get into bowl eligibility.
Yeah,
right?
And I don't think it's going to happen. I hope it does, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Coach Ryan Day, again, scheduled to join us in about 15 minutes or so. Stay tuned for that. Up next, we'll break down this past weekend around the Big Ten as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready?
It's
doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Whatever happens today, take it on with a fresh cup of True Brew coffee. Now only $1 with True Rewards. True North Store's True Brew coffee is a hot, flavorful gourmet blend created from coffee beans from around the world. As a free True Rewards member, pick the size that is perfect for you and pay only $1. Don't have the True Rewards mobile app? Find it in the Apple or Google Play Store to download and save instantly. True North convenience stores. Fast, friendly, clean.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
Picture it. Your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps, spiced cider in every glass, laughter around every plate. At Kroger, we know these moments matter, and we make it easier to bring them to life with quality that's affordable in every aisle. This season, don't just host, make every moment unforgettable. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mossick. Buckeye fans, power up and carbon down with AEP Energy and Eco Advantage, their 100% renewable energy plan for your home or business. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's time for the Buckeye Roundtable Big Ten Breakdown.
Here's Fernando Mendoza, ready to take the snap, hands it off. He's got Hemby down to the 10, down to the 5. Still
there we go.
Touchdown!
There we go.
Roman Hemby comes up with a big-time score, a 17-yard run to the end zone.
Don Fisher on Learfield, Indiana. Man, they are rolling. They win at Maryland 55-10.
And Roman Hemby, who used to play at Maryland, has been a big part of that with giving them a rushing game to complement what Fernando Mendoza has done with those wide receivers, but they're also playing some really good defense.
That's what I was going to say, Paul. A lot of people talk about the 50 burgers that they're putting up, throughout the course of the season, but that defense is pretty good, too. And I think Aiden Fisher, that linebacker, might have been out of that
really?
game. Yeah, I think he got nicked up a little bit. Maybe didn't play the whole game. He's going to be okay long term. But, yeah, so it shows that they got some depth. But well-coached football team on both sides of the ball.
You're going to play Indiana. You're going to stop their running game. or their passing game.
I guess.
Pressure the quarterback.
They're pretty good with both of them, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And the quarterback runs a little bit, too.
At Penn State, they get Wisconsin at home, finish at Purdue. Really, you like their chances of winning out.
Absolutely.
Again, Ohio State is at Purdue this week. Saturday, the Boilers were at Michigan.
Underwood takes the snap, will hand it off to Jordan Marshall, who runs right and gets it down to the 5, breaks a tackle, and into the end zone. Out of nowhere, Jordan Marshall, a 10-yard touchdown run, and Michigan leads it 20-10.
Doug Karsh on Learfield. This was not a blowout by any stretch. Wolverines over Purdue 21-16.
Turnovers kept it as a close game. There was a block kick as well. Michigan fumbled the ball out of the end zone for a touchback, but Jordan Marshall really picked up the steam and ran the football. The interesting thing moving forward, Haynes King. No, not Haynes King. The other running back.
Justice Haynes.
Justice Haynes. Thank you. And it was something like that. He's going to have foot surgery. So, you wonder if he's going to be back for the rest of the regular season. But this was a game that probably shouldn't have been this close. Underwood didn't play as well as he has at quarterback, but, the running game is what really ground Purdue down.
185 yards for Marshall, 3 TDs. So, yeah, he filled in nicely for Haynes, a kid out of Cincinnati Moeller High School,
Yes,
I believe.
he is. Yes, he is.
So he's really running the ball hard, and, they're getting – and that's kind of what Michigan does. They want to have the ability. Sharon Moore's a former offensive line coach. Running the football is always going to be part of their identity. Now, Underwood hadn't been overwhelming throwing the football, but as a freshman, we know they get better usually every week.
Does seeing Purdue play Michigan as tough as they did, is that maybe an extra motivator for Ohio State this week?
Probably, yeah. I Coach has talked about it. Every time I've ever heard him speak, he's talking about, hey, we got to win the game this week. We got to win this game this week. We're not worried about what's going to happen 3 weeks down the road or the Michigan game. They're going to play us hard. There's no question about it. They're going to have more fans than us, but we're going to be well represented over there with our fans. There's no question about it. But we're better now. They can't beat us, guys. We can beat ourselves if we go over there and screw up and turn the ball over and stuff like that, which we're not going to do.
Yeah, and Purdue had the ball 5 minutes more than Michigan, so they're a ball control, slow operating team. Trying to keep that opposing offense on the bench, and that's always dangerous, especially if you turn it over or have a negative play and you got to punt the football. You can't. When you're only getting 10 possessions a game, they're all valuable.
Right. Also Saturday night, USC was at Nebraska.
Tight formation, tight end, both sides of the line. Miller is the one back. Miller is the ball carrier. Miller at the 5. Miller in the end zone. Touchdown USC. And the Trojans take the lead for the first time tonight.
Pete Arbogast, USC Radio. Trojans beat Nebraska 21-17.
And if not mistaken, Skip, King Miller really started playing because of other injuries at the running back position for USC. So, and Maeva continues to improve as a quarterback. The big story out of this, Dylan Raiola hurt and out for the year for Nebraska. So that really kind of hamstrings their efforts.
Yeah, that was a 29th game that Nebraska has gotten beat by a ranked team.
Right.
So, I mean,
been a long time.
They're trying to get it, into that, and they talking about it, and they're extending the coach, and feel like they have a generational quarterback, but that's still a hard, cold fact that you got to face. You can't, how can you think playoffs when you can't even beat a top 25 team?
USC's always got good talent.
Yeah.
There's no question. A lot of great football players on the West Coast. A lot of them stay at USC. You can get them in school. They're not as good as they're going to be.
To Champaign, Illinois looked for a bounce-back win as they hosted Rutgers.
Deep in Rutgers territory. Altmaier back to pass and maybe offsides. Rolling right. Altmaier to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Colin Dixon down on his backside. Catches it. 7-yard touchdown pass. Touchdown, Illinois.
Brian Barnhart on Learfield. Illinois improves to 6-3, 3-3 in the Big Ten, beating Rutgers 35-13.
And another outstanding performance by Luke Altmaier, the quarterback. He was a lot of the reason why people thought Illinois could, not anymore, but they could have been a playoff contending football team.
Not only throwing the football, but running the football. I mean, he had 88 yards, a TD. What he's able to do with his feet. And then on the other hand, credit Illinois defense. They shut down, the Rutgers rushing attack. They had 59 yards rushing the football, and that's just not the Rutgers football of Greg Schiano that you expect to see, especially with some of the backs that they've had in the past.
Illinois is one of those football teams that's getting a lot better late in the year. Well coached. I like their head football coach. I think they're a well coached football team.
Final stop, Minneapolis, where Minnesota hosted Michigan State. It went to overtime.
Now an I formation from the 3. Bierman, the fullback. In motion, Bibber. There is play action. Rolling left, Lindsey. He's got room to the 5. He is in! Touchdown! And that's a winner!
Mike Grimm on Learfield. Minnesota beats Sparty in overtime, 23-20.
You know, and Drake Lindsey continues to show his value to that program as a quarterback, especially the run-pass option that he brings. And you really have to wonder, Michigan State now 0-6 in the Big Ten. There's a lot of rumblings that their head coach is maybe in a shaky situation. I know that Aiden Childs has been banged up at times. Might the Spartans be ready for the November swoon that you've seen them have in certain years in East Lansing?
Yeah, and Michigan State's, kind of rotating quarterbacks. Childs, played about half, and they gave that, Milvovic?
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Gave him an opportunity to play, and he went in.
They're not on the schedule this year. I didn't look it up.
We didn't study that one. But Spartans now haven't won a Big Ten game, and that's surprising because I thought last year when we were over there that they were a team that could be a good football team. I think they had played better last year than this year.
3 things they got to do, guys. They got to recruit, and recruit. They got to get some better players.
And some cash, I guess.
Some cash. That's how you get them. You buy them. Yeah.
This week, Friday night, Northwestern is at USC. Indiana's at Penn State. We talked about that a little bit. Oregon is at Iowa. This is an interesting matchup Saturday.
That's a very interesting game because, Oregon certainly they showed their vulnerability against a very, very good Indiana football team, but can they go on the road in what will be a tough environment? But really curious to see Indiana at Penn State.
Crowd noise at Kinnick is unbelievable, and they'll be up for this Oregon game. Now, Phil Parker likes to keep everything in front of you, right? Because that's the way he coaches with that zone defense. You just got to make sure missed tackles is something that Iowa, can't do in this game. And then offensively, don't turn the ball over and some drives in the end zone.
Also this weekend, Washington is at Wisconsin, Nebraska at UCLA, and then there's the Delaney Bowl in Piscataway, Maryland is at Rutgers. And that's always, reference it to that. It's always interesting to see what's going to happen in that matchup.
Well, yes, because former Commissioner Jim Delaney was so eager to add the eastern part of the Big Ten Conference.
Of course, the Buckeyes at Purdue. Up next, we are scheduled to be joined by Ohio State coach Ryan Day. That is next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag Buckeyes Care.
Hey, Ohio State fans, are you looking to score big with your home equity? Union Home Mortgage will help you unlock the value of your home and fund the promises you've made to yourself and your family. If you need to pay off debt, have home improvements, or whatever your family needs are, visit UHM.com and score financial freedom with Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Union Home Mortgage Corp. is an equal housing opportunity lender and MLS number 2229.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Toyota gives you more electrified hybrid choices than anyone else, including the stylish new Corolla, a name synonymous with Toyota quality and dependability, the elegant new Toyota Crown Signia, and the latest edition of the legendary 4Runner. Toyota's extensive lineup also includes battery EVs like the tech-savvy all-electric BZ4X. And of course, the iconic Prius, the hybrid that started it all. That's the power of choice. From Toyota, let's go places.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Buckeye football lives here. The Fan. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mossick. Buckeye Coach Ryan Day will join us coming up here in just a few moments. And, fellas, everybody thought, back to the victory over Penn State on Saturday, everybody thought and kind of assumed Penn State was going to be a lock for the CFP championship contender this year. They will not. 8 o'clock tonight, the first CFP rankings will be coming out. There are certain talking heads we know that will go on for hours about the numbers and who's 1, who's 2, down through 12 or 16 or whatever. My question is, do they matter at this point?
No. It's positioning, but no, because for the teams you're talking about, and let's say we're talking about the top 4 teams, which would be Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and probably Alabama, in whatever order you want to put them in. They all have the opportunity with their schedules and what's in front of them to be able to affect the positioning.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's nice to be included, right? Because you work hard and you want recognition, and you want to see what the country thinks of you, each and every team. So, but ultimately, you want to be there at the end. You want to be one of the top 4 teams to get a bye, and then let 5 through 12 bang around. You get a little bit more time off, and then come back to play some football, play for championship. But most importantly, every coach will tell them this week's opponent, Purdue. That's the most important thing. But it's nice. It's not. You can't avoid it, right? You can't be blind to it. You got to say, hey, I understand what's going on, and take it as a badge of honor and keep working hard.
You can lose 2 games and be in.
Yeah.
If you don't lose more than 2 games, you're going to be in the playoff. There's no question about that. It pisses me off sometimes. I look back, our good teams lost 1 game. We're out of it.
Oh, and it was.
We're out of it.
Yeah, it was the
96
final 2.
team, 98 team. Oh, we'd love to be playing for the national championship.
95 wasn't bad either, Coach. I mean, there were some good teams. I mean, back in the day, it was, BCS, it was top 2. So when these polls or rankings would come out, they were very important because if you're 8th, it was really difficult to climb from 8 to 2 to get in that last game.
It was. And if you remember in 14, Ohio State got to the point, I think it was the win at Michigan State, and it got them, they were like 13th or 12th or something like that. But once that win occurred and some other things happened with other teams, that kind of really got things rolling to where they were able to get in a position to move to where they did and set that stage for that win in the Big Ten championship game that got them in.
59-0 against Wisconsin is unbelievable. Cardell Jones, he's our starter now.
There's going to be some other teams this year, though, I think, because of NIL. Texas Tech, for example, teams like that's going to win 10 games, and they're probably going to be in. They may not be the best teams, 10 teams in the country, but they're going to be in because they haven't lost any games.
Well, I think right now the top 4 is easier than the bottom 4.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
And tonight it'll be interesting to see where some of these 2-loss teams are slotted and how that will affect them going forward.
They fixed the automatic 1 through 4 conference championship. Okay, so that's been fixed. So it's just going to be the top 4 teams get the first round buys. My question is, along those lines, at what point are these conference championship games going to just need to be eliminated because somebody's going to lose, drop down in their positions, maybe drop out of the playoff field because of the conference
I think it's already there. I mean, we know those conference championship games are moneymakers for the TV networks. Coaches have said that, have talked about it somewhat privately. It's another opportunity to lose a game or to get people hurt. So, now that it's 12 and the field is going to expand even more, I think that makes those conference championship games, as far as the importance of a playoff run, not important at all.
All right, joined now for a few minutes by Ohio State coach Ryan Day. His comments are presented by Kroger. And Coach Day, we were teasing earlier this evening about how we're running out of synonyms to describe the efficiency numbers of what we're seeing from Julian Sand. I know you see things that most of us don't, but how would you describe as far as what you're getting from your quarterback?
I think, like you said, consistency. he's first off, it starts with his preparation every week and, practicing and the timing. And there's just so much that goes with it. And then obviously he has the talent to be able to do those things. And each game he's getting more and more confident and gaining more and more experience. So, we'll just take it week to week and keep gaining on it.
Coach, congrats on win number 78. I'm impressed with your defense. You know what you had to do? You had to stop the run against two backs that had 3,000 plus. You were able to do that. Another key I had was you got to pressure the quarterback, and you were able to pressure the quarterback, get a lot of pressure on, get 4 sacks, and it came up with a turnover there by Caleb Downs there in the end zone. But the way that defense is playing, and again, they could have been mad at the offense for that turnover there at the end of the half, but they didn't. They just kept battling and coming back and, got the shutout pretty much in the second half.
Well, I know I was mad, so I don't know if they were or not, but I was.
We heard.
Yeah. No, I think, our defense did a nice job of making adjustments in game. They didn't panic, and, nobody panicked at halftime. We just want to solve the problems, come out, and, great teams win the games in the second half and fourth quarter. And, because we turned the ball over, we found ourselves, in the game in the second half. And that's a lesson that we better learn fast. But to your point, I think the defense, really played hard again, stopped the run, and really made some nice adjustments in the second half.
Is that lack of panic a great tool with making whatever adjustments are needed to be made during the course of a game, Coach?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's really big because, when you have as much success as we've had, I think it's one of those things that when it doesn't maybe go well, you want to see how guys are going to respond. And when, things don't go well, there has to be some communication on what went wrong. And when you don't know what went wrong, you can find yourself all of a sudden, trying to make a play. You find yourself out of a gap. And now, you're watching the film the next day saying, geez, I'm not playing sound football because I'm trying to do too much. But when you recognize what went wrong, and then you can trust the scheme and just continue to do what you're doing, then it allows you to continue to play and make those changes and get back on track.
Coach, I've been out of it a long time, but I want to ask you, way back, it used to be everybody played the wide tackle 6 defense, 6-2-2-1 defense. Next thing you know, it was your defense caught up with the offense, and then it was a 4-3, it was a 50. Oklahoma defense, yep. Right? Slant and angle. And then it was a 4-3. Then it was cover 2. What are you seeing now? It looks to me like we're seeing in college football, we're seeing 8-man front and 3 guys rushing, or 8-man front and 2 guys rushing. What are you calling the defenses now? What are you seeing now? You're seeing more pro defenses played on the college level?
Yes. Everybody's built a little bit different. I think that's what's unique about college. I think in the NFL, there's probably, a handful of systems that you could identify. But in college, it seems like every week it's just different. No 2 teams are exactly alike, and they all sort of say that, have the same coverages, but they just have different ways of getting there. And I'd say right now, it's a combination based on personnel of 4 down, of 3 down with a 0 nose and those tackles playing over the guards or tackles. And then variations of the coverages. And then, you have man, you have 2, you have 3. You're seeing a lot of in cover 2, that middle of the field player is sort of the middle runner, take away guys down the middle versus cover 2, but he also plays, down in the box in the run game. So if anybody remembers, the old Virginia Tech defense, it's actually similar to that. So that's very popular right now. And then also what we call simulated pressure, which is, one linebacker blitzing, but then, a defensive lineman dropping out and playing zone coverage. So pretty popular right now, but like you said, it evolves every week.
Coach, we're really seeing the development not only of, Julian Sane, but Bo Jackson, where he has come from, no reps against Texas and now having 3 100-yard games, and shows that home run hitting ability, making those big plays.
Yeah, it was good to see him come out on that play. That was a play that we hadn't really run all year. We've been working on, but to see it hit for such a big play was rewarding to the offense. But he saw it, and he got out to the back end and turned into an explosive run. And that's obviously something that we're looking for on our offense.
Coach, if you were to brief word on Purdue, but also how your team each and every week has adapted to the message of their own improvement.
Yeah, and that's it. As we were right back out, we just got off the field on a Tuesday practice, and that was it. In order for it to work on Saturday, you got to put the work in during the week and mastering the process. And Tuesday's really, really important. Get back to fundamentals, get back to running the ball, stopping the run, getting our pads down, getting our hands on people, and then we did a bunch of that today.
Buckeye coach Ryan Day. Coach, we always appreciate your time. We'll see you Thursday for your radio show, okay?
Have a good night, guys. Thanks.
Coach's comments presented by Kroger. Kroger Pickup is the easy way to get what you want right when you need it. Try Kroger Pickup today in the Kroger app or at Kroger.com. Up next, we'll hit the red zone with longtime Ohio State reporter Tim May as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
American Electric Power is a proud sponsor of Buckeyes Care.
Hi, I'm Janelle Coleman with American Electric Power. AEP comes together with our communities to create a better future every day. Whether we serve, build, or simply share with others, we make Central Ohio brighter for our neighbors. Our collaboration with Buckeyes Care is another way we work to make the future boundless for all.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper in with us tonight. I'm Skip Mossick. For every Buckeye touchdown scored this season, the Heartland Bank Community Foundation will make a donation to the USO of Central and Southern Ohio, benefiting our active duty military personnel and their families. For more information or to support our troops, go to usocso.org and be the force behind the forces.
Buckeye Roundtable Red Zone.
Join inside the Red Zone, longtime Ohio State reporter Tim May. And Tim, again, Ohio State at Purdue this week. We have seen some strange, and I mean some strange things at Purdue over the years. What stands out as your strangest, you've got to be kidding me, moment in West Lafayette? And do you get the sense that there's no way that there will be any of that oddity on Saturday?
No, I don't. You never can trust anything when you go to Purdue. I mean, I think Ohio State should take that in mind. But the very first year I started covering Ohio State on the beat in 1984, Ohio State went to Purdue, and it was kind of Chris Carter's coming out party at wide receiver, right on down the line. But it was Jim Everett and, the quarterback for Purdue, and they pulled the upset. And the play you remember most was Mike Tomczak throwing the ball out of bounds on fourth down to stop the clock. I'm sure Jim Lachey remembers that play, but it was a discombobulated moment for the proud Buckeyes. But the Buckeyes ended up in the Rose Bowl, winning the Big Ten championship. The first team, the only team in history to win it with two, back in the good old days, back with two conference losses to win it outright. So what a weird year it was all the way around.
Yeah, I think that the chain gang, the guy running the downs, he turned it fourth down right when the ball went out of bounds. I'm like, I think Mike might have saw third going to fourth and just thought he could get away with it. But maybe that's me defending my roommate.
The ball was in the air. He changed it to fourth down.
The question I have.
It was like a guy with an hourglass. He just shoots the bottom out of it at the end. Go ahead now. Yeah.
My question to you is, like you said, you've been around here covering since '84. We got two Heisman candidates, Julian Sayin, Jeremiah Smith. How many times in the history have we had that? 8 games in, being undefeated. Have two high. And what's Jerry Emmy going to do? How do you promote these guys equally?
Yeah, Jerry and Mike Bassford. Maybe they'll take one each. Here's the thing. I summed this up on a tailgate show a couple of weeks ago with Anthony Rothman and Dave Biddle when we were talking about this, and they were talking about, does Jeremiah Smith, does he have the better shot and stuff? And I go, no, only because Julian Sayin is going to get better as the year goes on. But then past that, every time Jeremiah Smith has a great game, so does Julian Sayin. And every time Carnell Tate has a great game, so does Julian Sayin, no matter what the other guy does. So, this really is a quarterback stacked kind of situation because, Jeremiah Smith could go off and do some amazing things over the next several weeks. We already saw him do one last Saturday with that one-handed grab of that tipped ball. And, the quarterback, there's no doubt Julian Sayin is surging right now. And some people think he's now the favorite. I got to see Ty Simpson live and in person a week and a half ago at Alabama, South Carolina game. And no offense, but Julian Sayin is playing better than that young man. And that young man's playing pretty well. So, we'll see how it goes. But it's kind of like a double whammy. Like I said, everything that Julian Sayin does for Jeremiah Smith, it just adds to Julian Sayin's repertoire.
Hey, Tim, it's Coach Cooper. Give me your top 5 teams here real quick.
I think it's Ohio State, Indiana, and then probably I think I'd go with Texas A&M since they're undefeated. They beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame, and people now are trying to figure out how to worm Notre Dame into it. And if you do that and giving them credit for losing to a tough Texas A&M, the Texas A&M number 3, then probably Alabama. And you know what? I'm looking at Ole Miss, but I'm telling you, fellas, something. Except for Texas, man, and even Texas to a certain extent, nobody's playing great defense in the Southeastern Conference for like a second or third year in a row. But you got to like Ole Miss just if it can win out, so to speak.
Tim, are you interested in the round? We posed this earlier, saying, do they matter at this point, or I guess in some argument is they do matter. I don't know.
No, they do. If Ohio State wins out, Ohio State's going to be where it wants to be because it will have beaten Indiana, and then Indiana could still end up with a bye because they could still be considered one of the top 4 teams in the country. You got to believe. For a team like Oregon, you could mention them for that 5th spot, obviously just as well as Ole Miss. But the funny thing about it is, man, we're going to see the pretenders slip away and the contenders step up, because when you think about Oregon is going to play Iowa this week, and they're going to play USC. I mean, right on down the line, some of the 2-loss teams are going to become 3-loss teams, and that will set everything in motion for the SEC to be crying on Selection Sunday, not getting a 3-loss team in there.
Tim May, Tim, we always appreciate your time. We'll talk with you later in the week, okay?
It is always a pleasure being on with you guys and watching you. You look like the Beatles when they were doing that Let It Be album right now as I'm watching you.
John Lennon is Coach Cooper, or is he Paul McCartney? I don't know.
John Lennon.
He's the best of all of us. I know that. Hour number 1 in the books. Coming up, hour number 2 of tonight's Buckeye Roundtable. Our Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Player of the Week Award, our American Dairy Association Mideast's top high school performances, and our playoff whip around the state. We'll hit the sidelines with Tyler Danberg, and our Insiders Access tonight, Austin Ward, will hop on tonight's Buckeye Roundtable. All that and more, hour number 2 here on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
James Peoples here, running back for the Ohio State Buckeyes. You have to check out the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. Get all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Buckeye sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State Team Shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
When it comes to all-wheel drive vehicles, nobody gives you more to choose from than Toyota, including the best-selling Camry and the best-selling RAV4.
You've also got Toyota's 5 brothers, which include the best-selling Tacoma and the legendary new 4Runner.
All-wheel drive gives you the traction you need for confident driving on any road, in any weather.
With 25 different all-wheel drive choices, there's only one thing you need to know.
Nobody knows all-wheel drive better than Toyota. Let's go places.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Always and forever your Ohio State flagship station.
WBNS-FM HD1 Columbus.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Good evening. I'm Jacob Reimer. The first college football playoff rankings will be revealed tonight. Timmy Hall and Tyvis Powell react to the rankings on the Fans YouTube at 8 o'clock. The college football playoff will begin the weekend of December 19th with a triple header on December 20th. Ohio State linebacker Arvell Reese was named National Defensive Player of the Week for his performance against Penn State with 12 total tackles, 2.5 tackles for a loss, and 1 sack. The Buckeyes will visit Purdue on Saturday. Also in college football, action begins tonight. Akron hosts UMass and Miami of Ohio visits Ohio. The NFL trade deadline closed today with the New York Jets making the biggest moves. First trading cornerback Sauce Gardner to the Colts for 2 first-round picks and wide receiver Adonai Mitchell. And they traded defensive tackle Quinnen Williams to the Cowboys for a first and second-round pick. The Cowboys also acquired linebacker Logan Wilson from the Bengals in a trade earlier today. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes. Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you. Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Picture it, your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps, spiced cider in every glass, laughter around every plate. At Kroger, we know these moments matter, and we make it easier to bring them to life with quality that's affordable in every aisle. This season, don't just host, make every moment unforgettable. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, is on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper, and with us tonight, I'm Skip Mossick. Saturday, Ohio State is at Purdue. More on that coming up. But right now, it is time to talk some high school football.
It's time for the Encova Insurance High School Player Award on Buckeye Roundtable.
One of the highlights of the Buckeye Roundtable show is the presentation of the Encova Insurance Archie Griffin Athlete of the Week Award. During each roundtable show, Encova Insurance and the Ohio State Sports Network honor a high school athlete for their outstanding play and team leadership. Tonight's recipient, senior running back Ryder Hooks from Lakota East High School in Southwest Ohio. Friday night, Hooks rushed for 275 yards, 4 touchdowns, added 90 receiving yards out of the backfield, and another score for 5 touchdowns on the night as Lakota East defeated Oak Hills 59-47 in the opening round of the playoffs. The Thunderhawks are coached by John Kitna. They're 8-3 and will play at third-seeded St. X on Friday night in the Division I Region 4 quarterfinals. Again, congratulations to Ryder Hooks from Lakota East High School, the recipient of this week's Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Athlete of the Week Award. Encova Insurance, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Time now for Buckeye Roundtable's American Dairy Association Mideast top performers and our whip around the state.
Big night for Hooks. You hear him rumbling around as far as one of the possible finalists for Mr. Ohio. He's putting up some huge numbers down there.
Congratulations to Coach Kitna there. He did a heck of a job.
John Kitna.
Yes, developing. That's awesome. I got a quarterback, Walnut Ridge quarterback, Marcus Lucas, ran 24 times for 202 yards and 6 touchdowns and was 12 of 16 passing for 191 yards and another touchdown as Walnut Ridge defeated Worthington Kilbourne 58-42.
Wyoming running back Jackson Hamilton rushed for 159 yards and a pair of touchdowns in the Wyoming Cowboys' 38-13 win over Roger Bacon.
I got a running back also, Cliff running back Elijah Fitch. He rushed for 180 yards, a pair of touchdowns, and Wycliffe defeated Springfield 17-15.
And a quarterback, Logan Zeigenbusch, had 172 yards rushing and a pair of touchdowns in Anna's 54-14 win over Deer Park.
Hilliard Bradley running back Rashad Truss rushed for 104 yards and a touchdown and added 86 receiving yards and another scores. Bradley beat Dublin Jerome 20-14.
I got a defensive lineman here, guys. Grant Dalio had 3 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble, and Harrison's 40-7 win against Butler.
Streetsboro running back Marcus Council had 15 carries for 123 yards and 4 touchdowns, leading Streetsboro past West Geauga 35-21.
Talawanda running back Lance Cantrell, 25 carries, 234 yards, 3 touchdowns as Talawanda beat Goshen 56-28.
Olentangy Berlin kicker Graham Fellinger, he had a pair of key field goals to help Berlin defeat Grove City 12-7.
Lee Garb, you need a kicker, Coach Cooper. You told us all along you're going to need a kicker.
You better have a kicker. You're going to win or lose you a couple games a year.
That's a good job there. Lakota West defensive back Corinthian Fields had 4 tackles and a pair of interceptions in Lakota West shutout of Hamilton 30-0.
Mm-hmm. Maple Heights running back Mike Banks, 244 all-purpose yards, 84 on the ground, 160 receiving, scoring 3 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion in Maple Heights 42-33 win over Chardon.
You better have a good wide receiver, guys, and I got one. Rocky River wideout Tristan Hughes had 11 receptions for 102 yards and a touchdown. He rushed for 2 more scores. He added 9 tackles on defense. Wow. Goodness. And Rocky River's 20-15 win over Midview.
All right, guys, great job. We begin our whip around the state tonight in Northeast Ohio. Some huge quarterback numbers as we hear from WKNR's Kevin Arnold.
The playoffs got off to a rousing start for Dylan Papashak and Berea Mid-Park on Friday night. In a 48-24 win over Cleveland Heights, the Titans quarterback completed 27 of his 36 passes for 437 yards and 7 touchdown passes. Division I, Region 1 is a difficult maze to traverse, but with the large group of playmakers on Papashak's side, Berea Mid-Park could make some real noise. Their playoff journey continues this week as they travel to Lakewood to face the top-seeded St. Ed's Eagles on Friday night. For WKNR in Cleveland, I'm Kevin Arnold.
7 touchdowns is impressive. More great play in Northwest Ohio. Here's WNDH's Dave Kleck.
The Fairview Apaches rolled in week number 1 of the high school football playoffs, beating Tenora 42-6, and one of the reasons why, a big-time effort from senior quarterback William Zedike. The player of the year in the GMC threw for 330 yards, 5 touchdowns. He added another 112 in the rushing department to combine for over 440 yards of offense. Fairview moves on to play unbeaten Paulding in the second round of the playoffs. From WNDH in Napoleon, I'm Dave Kleck.
Some unbelievable special teams play. Here's WIMA's Todd Walker.
Friday night at Spartan Stadium, Lima Senior recovered 5 onside kicks as they blew out Cincinnati Aiken 62-20 in the first round of the playoffs. The Spartans had the ball 3 times before Aiken ever got a possession, scoring 3 touchdowns to begin the game with an 18-0 lead. With the win, Lima improved to 9-2 on the season. This Friday, they visit number 3 seed Trotwood Madison. Reporting from 1150 WIMA in Lima, this is Todd Walker.
I think they saw something on film, Paul.
They found a weak link there or something.
My goodness gracious. To Southwest Ohio, here's WING's Justin Kinner.
Christopher Wallace has been outstanding as the Springfield Wildcats quarterback all season long. He has thrown for over 2,000-plus yards on the season. He's thrown for over 20 touchdowns, and he even added more to that total this past Friday night in Week 1 of the postseason to help lead Springfield past Marysville 35-6. Now, Wallace completed 22 of his 30 pass attempts for 311 yards and 5 touchdowns. The impressive part was 5 touchdowns to 4 different wide receivers on the night. Next up for Wallace and the Wildcats, they'll turn their attention towards Springboro for round 2 of the postseason. That's coming up this weekend. For ESPN 1410 Wing AM, I'm Justin Kinner in Dayton.
Opposite side of the state, a big first. Here's WMOA's Andy Rex.
Guys, the Morgan Raiders took a nearly 3-hour bus ride to Cold Grove Friday night and came home with the school's first-ever football playoff win, 43-22 over the Hornets. Junior running back Tanner Bankus ran for 4 touchdowns on the night, setting a new school record for rushing touchdowns in a season. Senior quarterback Hayden Pauley was a perfect 13 of 13 for 198 yards and a touchdown. Morgan is now 8-3 on the year and face another long bus trip this Friday to take on Wheelersburg in a Region 19 quarterfinal. From WMOA and WJAW Radio, I'm Andy Rex.
Good for those kids. Huge night on the ground to close. Here's WMVO's Tyler Mathias.
Sophomore running back Siren Wallace had another big game for the Danville Blue Devils in a 54-0 road victory over Steubenville Central Catholic in round 1 of the playoffs as they upset Steubenville Central Catholic in an 11 versus 6 matchup. Siren Wallace ran for 2 touchdowns and 118 yards on the ground. He averaged 29.5 yards per carry. The Danville Blue Devils will play at Fisher Catholic in the next round of the playoffs this Friday night. Reporting from WQIO, WMVO out of Mount Vernon, I'm Tyler Mathias.
That was one sort of Central Ohio team that went over to Jefferson County and got a win there at Steubenville Catholic Central, but we know Grandview Jim Lachey did not.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
Tough night.
A lot of guys banged up. St. Henry, they had a bye the first week, so they'll play this week.
They got New Bremen coming up on Friday night. Moeller, I know, had a bye.
They will take on Lakota West this coming weekend.
And Coach Cooper, Upper Arlington, big night. They beat Westerville Central. They're at Pickerington North coming up this week.
I watched the game last week. I think they've only lost 2 games all year.
And they rebounded nicely last week. So a nice win for the Golden Bears. Our top performers from around the state was presented by the American Dairy Association Mideast. A reminder from Ohio's dairy farmers, 8 ounces of delicious chocolate milk has 8 grams of protein with the power to fuel everyone, including Ohio State quarterback Tavian St. Clair. He's built like a Buckeye, and you can be too. Learn more at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/built-like-a-Buckeye. There were some surprises in the top 25. We will discuss after further review as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access.
The cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
Ready? It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, getting ahead in this world is not as complicated as it might seem. Having the early guidance and counsel of your community banker, one who knows you and your family's story, can make a great deal of difference. Relationships matter. Bank on community banking. I'm Scott McComb. Coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com.
Toyota gives you more electrified hybrid choices than anyone else, including the stylish new Corolla, a name synonymous with Toyota quality and dependability, the elegant new Toyota Crown Signia, and the latest edition of the legendary 4Runner. Toyota's extensive lineup also includes battery EVs like the tech-savvy all-electric BZ4X, and of course, the iconic Prius, the hybrid that started it all. That's the power of choice. From Toyota, let's go places.
Your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mossick. Join Coach Ryan Day and experts from across Buckeye Nation to preview every matchup and break down each week's game. Game Time with Ryan Day, presented by Huntington Bank, airs game day Saturday mornings at 9 on 10 TV in Columbus and statewide on OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Buckeye Roundtable.
Greatest play is under further review.
After further review.
Jennings in the shotgun, Harden to his right. Stone Eby blocking back to the left. Handoff. TJ Harden! Touchdown! Who's the U today? It's SMU with a win, 26-20.
Rich Phillips on Learfield. Stunner in the ACC. SMU beats Miami in overtime, 26-20.
They get a big defensive game from Ahmad Moss, who had a couple of interceptions. This was a young man that when Rhett Lashley came in as coach, he had to convince him to stay. He was leaving to go elsewhere, but comes up and plays big there. And, think about this now. What if that Miami and Notre Dame game was played now rather than the beginning of the year? Two teams that are kind of going in different directions.
Yeah, Miami came out there and, it was a great ball game. But now, all of a sudden, they're sitting there at 2-2 in the ACC. Mm-hmm. And SMU is sitting there at 4-1. Kind of a tale of two teams because everybody, knew SMU with 3 losses is going to be out of it. But they're still going out there and, knocking off the number 10 team.
SMU, Texas Tech, those guys down there in Texas, guys got a lot of money. Look out. They got a lot of money.
Another surprise in the ACC as unbeaten Georgia Tech was at NC State.
Snap at the Georgia Tech 31. Bailey, handoff. Scott sees Park, sprints 20. Duke Scott 10, touchdown. Deal sealer, Duke Scott. 31 yards down the near sideline. NC State's going to upset 8th-ranked Georgia Tech, and Carter Finley loses its mind.
Matt Chazanow on Learfield. NC State upsets Georgia Tech 48-36.
There are many former ACC players who talk about dreams that died at Carter Finley Stadium, but Georgia and NC State had a number of players filling in for starters who were injured, and these were players that stepped up and, knocked off a Georgia Tech team that still's got some things to do.
Yeah, not much defense played in that game.
No,
I mean, you look at what Haynes King was able to do, 408 yards, and then, 103 yards on the ground, so 511 total yards. He gave them everything they had.
As you mentioned, Coach, ACC's wide open.
Wide open. It's been a long time since Georgia Tech's had a good football team.
More surprises to the Big 12, where West Virginia was at number 22, Houston.
Change at running back. Sincere Bowers has come in. Here's a snap. And they hand the ball off to Bowers. Bowers finds a seam. Bowers 15, 10, 5. End zone. Touchdown. Sincere Bowers on his first carry of the afternoon. West Virginia on the board. A 21-yard touchdown run. It's 13-0 Mountaineers.
Tony Caridi on Learfield. WVU gets their first conference win as they knock off Houston 45-35.
They also got 100 yards from D.R. Howard, and Connor Wegner threw 2 interceptions for a Houston team, that had been trending upwards.
Yeah, it was a good win there for Rich Rod to go out there and knock off Houston. Houston was playing so well, and everybody was looking at them, and go in there with 2 wins and come out of Houston with a victory. That's a good night.
West Virginia's been struggling, Coach Cooper. I mean, it's been a while, and it's been a tough season. Like I said, their very first conference win.
They've been changing coaches too quick over there.
Yeah. Staying in the Big 12 to Salt Lake City, Utah hosted number 17 Cincinnati.
Wildcat back here on 3rd down and a yard. Devin Dampier comes in motion. Wayshawn takes it himself. He's got the 30. He's got the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. It's a house call for Wayshawn Parker.
Bill Riley, Utah Network, Utes big over Cincinnati, 45-14.
And the Bearcats got in trouble early with turnovers. The punt return touchdown for Utah. So first conference loss for Cincinnati in the wacky Big 12.
Yeah, and again, this is one of those games where it had a lot of hype going into it, but credit Utah, after dropping one to BYU to kind of come back and take on a Bearcat team that we all respect.
And Utah, the way they're getting it done, I mean, 3 or 4 quarterbacks are handling the ball back there for them.
Yeah, that's a tough place to go play. You don't think Cincinnati was looking forward to a game this week, do you? I think they play Miami this week, don't they?
Actually, they're off this week. So I know they're looking forward to that.
They're looking forward to it. Okay. They're looking forward to it. Although they're playing 2 weeks from now. Okay.
Yes, they do. It will be interesting coming up at 8 to see where Notre Dame falls in the CFP rankings. Saturday, the Irish were at Boston College.
Pistol formation. Carl give it to Love. Has a good hole. Runs between it. Here he goes. Across the 20. Over the 30. Track meet. And you're not going to catch Jay.
Tony Simeone, Notre Dame Network Irish wins at BC 25-10.
And you wish that best running back in all of college football was used in their game against Miami. He was AWOL, absent without leave, in that game, and that could have made a difference.
And you're seeing a lot more out of C.J. Carr, too. I mean, he's improving.
He really has, Jim.
He's 18 of 25 in that ball game, a couple touchdowns, almost 300 yards, just ended up with 299. So to see how he's improved from week one to week now has been a big difference, too.
To the SEC, Jacksonville, the world's largest party between Florida and Georgia.
Come on.
Under 11 minutes remaining, third quarter. 10-10 our score. Dogs trying to threaten here on the 23. Pump fake. Gunner throws for the end zone. Noah Thomas caught. Touchdown, Georgia.
Scott Howard on Learfield. Georgia holds off Florida 24-20.
Stockton started to play well again at quarterback with a couple of touchdown passes. Georgia's going to be interesting to watch down the stretch because they still have to play Texas, who seemingly is playing better, and then they have that non-conference game against Georgia Tech that they're playing in the Big Dome Stadium there. It's not on one of the campus sites. Right. So, Georgia's still got a chance to have a hand in things, but they got a couple of big obstacles.
I agree. Don't count the dogs out of it.
Nope.
No, it's a good
lost
victory.
One game.
And credit Florida for giving them all they had there to make that a ball game. Because they've had some downturns obviously this year, but they're still fighting hard in the SEC.
Paul brought up Texas. Wild game in Austin as Texas hosted Vanderbilt.
First down and goal, play action. Manning rolls right, looking to throw, still looking, rolls right, near the boundary, fires from the end zone. Touchdown, Texas. C.J. Baxter. Cedric in the zone. A 6-yard catch for the score.
Craig Way on Learfield. Texas built a big lead. Vandy with a huge comeback, but falls short. Longhorns win 34-31.
And if Manning continues to improve and play the way everybody thought he would at the beginning of the season, that's going to give Texas an opportunity to stay in this thing.
Yeah, like Sarkisian said, hey, the playoffs have started, right? For Texas, they got to go ahead and win out, and they got to take care of business. And we got to go to Austin next year. It's going to be interesting.
Coach Vanderbilt, it's been a long time, and the last couple of years they've been right there. And give them credit for coming back and making that a ball game.
Vanderbilt and Indiana, those two teams you used to want to play. Because they weren't any good.
Important game in Knoxville, kind of a de facto elimination game as Tennessee hosted Oklahoma.
Helms goes in motion left to right, double tights that way. Two wides to the right. Mateer's got it. Handoff, Robinson cuts left, pushes at the 2. He's to the 1. He's into the end zone. Touchdown. Xavier Robinson onto the checkerboard. And the Sooners are back in front in Rocky Top.
Crown me, Paul. Toby Rowland on Learfield. Big win for Oklahoma. They beat Tennessee 33-27.
Coach Cooper, this is for you. Oklahoma had Tate Sandell hit 3 field goals of 50 yards or longer.
Field goal kicker is going to win or lose you a couple games a year. And that happened down in Rocky Top, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yes, Coach, you couldn't have liked those uniforms growing up a Vols fan.
No way. Absolutely no way. I almost turned the TV off.
This week, fellas, just 2 games involving teams both in the top 25. BYU at Texas Tech.
That's going to be a good one.
Absolutely. As will Texas A&M at Missouri. So, again, you've got these SEC teams looking to knock each other out.
Yeah, and Missouri's kind of already eliminated. Can they hang one on somebody?
Play spoiler. That's what they all want to do anyways. All right, up next, we'll hit the sidelines with Tyler Danberg as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at SafeLight.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Hey, Ohio State fans! Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule! Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Everyone loves Donato's legendary thin crust, but sometimes you want a little more to grab. That's where Donato's hand-tossed pizza comes in. Golden, delicious, and perfect for dipping in that ranch, marinara, or garlic butter sauce. For a limited time, get a large one-topping hand-tossed pizza plus dipping sauce for just $9.99. Order online using promo code MORE. Donato's. Gotta love more.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mossick. Be sure to check out the Buckeye Game Day concert series presented by the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer before every home game this season outside of St. John Arena in Buckeye Fan Fest. Each week features a different artist on stage 2 hours before kickoff. Get on board and book your cruise today. Visit BuckeyeCruise.com. Go Buckeyes and beat cancer.
This is the Elk and Elk Report on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
All right, Lachey, I'm going to throw a wild card at you this week.
Right.
We're kind of go backwards in time on the two deep with what we're seeing from Arvell Reese. How deep was that defensive two deep a year ago? I mean, I know he played in all 16 games, but man, for him to not get more playing time than what we're seeing right now, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, what's that say about Cody Simon, right? I mean, Cody, and heck, see what he did yesterday, got an interception in a game, so he's an awful good linebacker to the next level too. But Cody, Sonny, both those guys played great last year, especially when the playoffs come. Those guys are rocking. Remember Cody against Indiana? I mean, he was like a one-man wrecking ball inside. But Arvell has kind of turned into it, and maybe we should start giving some credit to James Laurinaitis for developing these guys. Year two now. He's had some very, very good linebacker play at a level that maybe we haven't seen in a while.
Coach Cooper, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I started to say it's going to be a long time before you see two linebackers in college football that are better than these two guys.
I agree.
Coach Cooper, how important is this two deep now as far as guys getting reps as we hit the home stretch at this point of the season in November?
Well, it's very, very, very important, and I think, as far as I know right now, we're healthy. We haven't lost any of those guys. I keep telling you how well coached they are. You will watch practice, and they're not standing around. They're getting better. They're getting better. They're getting better. They can all run. The silver bullets, and I'm not sure those silver bullets are getting enough credit, to be honest with you. They're running. You got to have 11 guys chasing that football and getting there in a bad mood.
Our two deep report was presented by Elk and Elk Injury Lawyers, dedicated to every client every day. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
For Buckeye Roundtables from the Sidelines Report on the Ohio State Sports Network.
Ohio State 38-14 over Penn State on Saturday. Quarterback Julian Sayin, 20 of 23, 316 yards, 4 touchdowns. After the game, Sayin with our Tyler Danberg.
Julian, what was working for you today?
Yeah, I think, we were executing at a pretty good level offensively, just, up front, and then receivers making great plays, running backs running hard, and the defense was playing well. So I think, it was just a good team effort. We still have a lot of stuff to clean up, but I think, we're getting better each and every week.
The first touchdown to Carnell. When did you think you had him? When did you think he had it?
Yeah, it was a really good play call by Coach Hartline, and we had the little fake with the running back, and Carnell ran a good route and was able to get behind the defense, and then I left it a little short, and he made a great adjustment and brought it in, and I was pretty fired up.
How about the second touchdown to Jeremiah Smith? When did you realize that he had the football?
Yeah, I pulled it, I threw it, and can't leave it that low where he's able to get tipped, and he made an unbelievable catch and a touchdown, and that was awesome. It was a mistake by me, and he made a great job catching the ball.
What does it say, though, about these receivers that when you do have those rare mistakes, they pick you up?
Yeah, these guys, they're playmakers for sure. So it's nice to have them on the outside when they can get behind the defense, or they go block for us, or they can make catches in traffic like that.
Coach Day was giving you a lot of credit for your ability to throw the deep ball today and really all season. Where do you think you've gotten better as a deep ball thrower?
I think it's just practice. We talk about it all the time, and we practice it, we drill it, and we try to get better at it, and I think it shows up on Saturdays because of how much we work it during practice.
You went up against Ethan Grunkemeyer, who you got to compete with and against at the Elite 11 in 2023. When you think about, that was 2 years ago, where do you think you've grown, and how surreal is this to be doing what you're doing right now?
Yeah, it's a dream come true. Obviously, growing up, I always wanted to play college football and play at the highest level. And Ohio State, it puts you on the platform to do that. And Ethan's a great dude, and I loved seeing him today.
And no doubt, fellas, when you look at what San is doing, the numbers are just jump right off the charts. It's unbelievable. But there's also no doubt he most likely has the best receivers in the country, too.
He does, and the offensive line giving him good protection. Skip, the interesting thing, too, we saw the play where he saw everything covered and he took off running. Mm-hmm. We've not seen a lot of that. If that's an element that becomes crucial in a close game, it's nice to at least see that he's got that chip in him.
Yeah, Tyler is starting to interview Julian about after every game, and it's good. Because he's doing a good job. His interviews are great, and you can kind of hear him maturing just through that process from early on to where he is now. And you're living right when balls get tipped and they go in your receiver's hands and he makes a fantastic play, ends up in the end zone. You're going to have 4 touchdowns. You probably need one of them, a couple guys to make some great plays, and they got the ability to do that. But, pass rush has been good. We've only given up 3 sacks. And that's number 2 in the country right now. So you got to have protection. And when it wasn't good, Julian was able to buy time with his feet to find the open receivers and even scrambled for a first down. So he's maturing each and every game and getting better, and it's been fun to watch. And, again, still his best football is going to be ahead of him.
I say this all the time. He throws what I call a catchable ball. He throws a ball that's easy for that wide receiver to catch. Guys wide open to come across the middle, you don't throw it behind him. Right. You don't throw him over his head. You throw it where he can grab the ball and run with it after he catches the football. He throws an easy ball to catch, and you go to practice, and you do. I see you all out there all the time, Jim. As you go to practice, you better get there early because they're throwing the ball before practice. They're throwing the ball during practice. They're throwing the ball after practice. They don't put the ball up in the sack, and they keep working at it, even though they're doing a great job throwing the ball and catching the ball.
Hard to believe only 8 starts, Paul. And you think back to the opener against Texas, how they were kind of very slowly kind of easing him in to see the progression to where he is right now. It's incredible.
But Skip, also think about it. He played in 4 games last year. He's basically the number 3 quarterback. You knew that there had to be some skill there, which was why he was recruited, but there was nothing really last year that gave you an indication. It's not a knock on anything that we're going to see this kind of play this year.
Go ahead, Jim.
No, I agree. And you know what? That Lincoln Keynotes, that battle supposedly came down to, August 18th or something. But
how good is he?
Exactly. How good is he?
All right. We will put the finishing touches on Penn State. Look ahead to Purdue. Our Insiders Access tonight, Austin Ward, Letterman Rowe, and others will join us next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood, and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs. Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Whatever happens today, plan to conquer it with a fresh cup of True Brew coffee. True North Convenience Store's True Brew coffee is a hot, flavorful gourmet blend created from coffee beans from around the world. Our brew is truly perfect for any time of the day. During October and November, enter for a chance to win free coffee for a year. Check the True Rewards app for details or find the mobile app in your favorite app store. Offer valid October 7th through December 1st. True North Convenience Stores. Fast, friendly, clean.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
When it comes to all-wheel drive vehicles, nobody gives you more to choose from than Toyota, including the best-selling Camry and the best-selling RAV4.
You've also got Toyota's 5 Brothers, which include the best-selling Tacoma and the legendary new 4Runner.
All-wheel drive gives you the traction you need for confident driving on any road, in any weather.
With 25 different all-wheel drive choices, there's only one thing you need to know.
Nobody knows all-wheel drive better than Toyota. Let's go places.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable all across the great state of Ohio. We are presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mossick. In their last game, Ohio State limited Penn State to 2 of 3 scoring on trips inside the 20. This defensive summary is brought to you by Anduril, whose mission is to transform U.S. military capabilities through advanced technology. Anduril, an official sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye Roundtable Insiders.
Joined for a few minutes now, Austin Ward, Letterman Row, amongst many other platforms. And Austin, we've been kind of debating throughout the evening. CFP rankings come out at 8. In your opinion, does it really matter at this point, knowing there's so much football left to play? Or I guess, is it important to see where teams are so that they know what they can and, more importantly, can't do?
Yeah, I think it would be probably more important for a bunch of teams that are not based in Columbus, Ohio. I think Ohio State and their fan base and everybody that can hear our voice talking about this doesn't need to even really bother tuning in. It is fun to look at the rankings. It is usually somewhat informative to see where the selection committee, what it is valuing, what it's going to emphasize, but it also tends to change week after week. And so I am looking forward to at 8 o'clock seeing if, for instance, this version of the committee does emphasize the strength of record that the SEC was really begging for so much throughout this offseason. If so, that would mean that maybe Texas A&M or potentially even Indiana could check in ahead of Ohio State tonight. But ultimately, that won't make any difference for the Buckeyes. We all know that if they win out, they are going to be in position to be the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed at worst. And you know they're blessed because they've taken care of their business through these first 8 games. That they do not have to stress about pulling for other teams or finding rooting interest as long as they take care of their own business. For these next 4 or 5 weeks, they're going to be in great shape coming the middle of December.
Austin, something we were chewing on earlier, with the anticipation that this playoff field is going to expand whatever year it does into whatever number it does. What does that do to conference championship games in your mind?
Yeah, I knew exactly where you're going, Paul. And I think that it would be, look, I think all of us could sit down and devise a format or a way to incorporate conference championships. And really, I think that's sort of the backdoor way. Some coaches I've talked to have said, well, you could essentially, if not double the size of the field, you could at least get, maybe 4 or 6 more teams that are in contention by tying a conference championship or a conference-wide weekend into the playoff field and turn that into a larger event. And I'm sure that the TV partners would love that. I think it gets a little bit convoluted and it makes it a little bit messier because one thing that sometimes gets lost sight of is that there is bragging rights, there is regional rights, and as the Big Ten has expanded, as the SEC has expanded, as the ACC is now coast to coast, we've lost some part of that, which makes college football so fun. And that's been the trade-off that what we've got with the expanded playoff field. So, I think we're already in a world where there would be such tremendous excitement if everything holds the way it is right now, and you had Ohio State versus Indiana in Indianapolis next month. I mean, that would be one of the most anticipated games, certainly for the Hoosiers of all time. But Ohio State fans would certainly show up, given the drought that they've had to win a conference championship the last few years. But if they are both in the top 4, which I think they will be tonight, and they certainly would say that way if they won out for the next month, you wouldn't really have any actual stakes attached to that. They would both likely maintain because of the change in format, they would keep their buys for this 12-team version. And if they go to 16, then you're devaluing that even further. So I'd actually like to see some way that they continue to maintain that and put value to it. But as you said, Paul, if they get to 16, and even in the world we're in now, those games just don't count as much as they used to, which is still not to say that Ohio State doesn't want to win it, because it is one more thing that Ryan Day sort of needs to put on his trophy mantle.
Austin, the growth of Julian Sayin from, 126 yards against Texas to now, 2,188 yards and, 23 touchdowns. The growth that he has had this year, I think for everybody, it's been fun to watch this offense go on perform week in and week out and seeing the growth of Julian Sayin.
It's been really fun, Jim. I mean, I think, when you're watching, sometimes we also forget that we're watching young men, we're watching kids become, perfecting their craft and growing and learning every single day. And I'd go back even further, because I think we got to see parts or all of 5 practices in spring. And I think, at least in my opinion, and I think a lot of people shared this view, I don't know if you would agree with it or not, Jim, but like 4 out of the 5 that I got to see, Lincoln Kienholz was ahead of Julian Sayin in March and April. And rather than being hanging your head or giving up or making a final judgment about what Julian Sayin could or could not become, he just went to work. And I think that's a tribute to him. I think it's a tribute to the coaching staff. I think it's a tribute to the teammates that are around Julian Sayin. But, ultimately it's up to him to take the coaching, to put in the work in the weight room, to watch the film study, and then he had to get the experience in games. So he looks dramatically different than he did in March. He looks far different than he did the day before the spring game. And certainly Ohio State is trusting him to do a lot more things with the offense than it did against Texas 2 months ago. So that part, I think this has been as cool as anything I've seen in a long time. There are a lot of stories like that on the Ohio State roster right now. The emergence of Arvell Reese, what Carnell Tate is doing when he's got the opportunity and the spotlight on him. On down the road, we could list 15 other guys, but Julian Sayin, he's got the unique pressure of being the quarterback at Ohio State, which I believe is the most scrutinized, pressure-packed position in maybe all sports, but definitely in college football. And the way that he's responded to that challenge has been absolutely remarkable and a real joy to watch from week to week.
I have a little question. I wonder sometimes who picks the teams? Who picks these teams? How come we don't have more former coaches that are not picking these dang teams? I mean, who knows more about college football than the guys who spent their life coaching it?
You want another job, Coach?
Yeah, exactly. I'd love to pick the top team. You got people picking the teams that don't know crap about how good some of these teams are. So you win 11 games out in West Texas. Does that mean you're better than some good team in the SEC or some good team in the Big Ten Conference?
Coach, if you're campaigning for that role, I'll be sure to make sure to echo that for you and get your name out there. I completely agree, and the fact of the matter is, I don't think, Coach, that there are enough people on the committee in general. When we're talking about 11 to 12, you have every year somebody recusing themselves from a conversation, and I'm all for different voices in the room. I'm all for analytics. I'm also all for having guys who have the experience that you do or Jim did as a player. I think that nobody knows this sport and what it takes better than the guys on the sideline and the guys playing it. So, I don't say that to discredit the people that are doing it. I know it's a thankless job. I know it's a difficult job, but I think if you got a bunch of your peers together, Coach, I bet that I would take your 12 over the 12 we see tonight.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Austin Ward, Letterman Row, among so many other platforms. Austin, we always appreciate your time. Thanks for jumping on, okay?
All right, have a great night, guys.
Coach Cooper needs another job, so you go get it for him. There you go. Ohio State and Purdue coming up on Saturday. We will wrap things up and discuss with some chalk talk as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hey, Buckeye fans. Are you thinking of consolidating your debt with a home equity loan? Union Home Mortgage wants you to know the average homeowner has over $200,000 of home equity available, and they can help you get access to your money quickly and easily. Go to UHM.com to get your cash estimate today. You'll score financial freedom with Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Calling all tailgaters. Learn more about the heart and soul of Ohio State with Game Day Taste and Traditions, presented by the Ohio Beef Council and Weber Grills. Dive into the rich history, iconic beef recipes perfect for your tailgate at home or outside of the shoe, and cherished customs that make our Buckeye community unique. Get yours now and celebrate Game Day with the spirit of Ohio State athletics. Find your Game Day Taste and Traditions guide at Buckeye Game Day Fan Fest and participating retailers.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
American Electric Power is a proud sponsor of Buckeyes Care.
Hi, I'm Janelle Coleman with American Electric Power. AEP comes together with our communities to create a better future every day. Whether we serve, build, or simply share with others, we make Central Ohio brighter for our neighbors. Our collaboration with Buckeyes Care is another way we work to make the future boundless for all.
Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mossick. We are proudly presented by Burger King. Visit your local BK restaurant to grab your $10 O-Fry O bundle. That includes a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, 8-piece chicken nuggets, and a custom OSU crown, all for just $10 at your local Burger King.
Buckeye Roundtable, Chalk Talk.
All right, fellas, Ohio State at Purdue on Saturday. We'll begin with our delivery of the game. Who needs to deliver in your mind the most for the Buckeyes to get the win?
Special teams, either a block kick or a return for a touchdown. How's that?
I like it. Lachey?
Special teams, our punters only punted 16 times. That's out of 136. We're 129th fewest. So let's don't punt. You're sure right. Let's get some returns out there and let's finish in the red zone. Finish with touchdowns. We settle for a field goal there. Nothing. It's good when we put it through the uprights, but let's score touchdowns in the red zone.
Let's spread them out and run it, and run it some more. Keep the ball away from them.
Purdue was Purdue was in it at Michigan last week, guys. A close game between Purdue and Michigan. What impressed you the most from Purdue's performance?
The fact that they got turnovers for Michigan. They got an interception. They tipped a punt. They forced a fumble, and they also, that fumble was when E.J. Underwood was taking the ball in the end zone. They knocked it out of his hands and went for a touchback, so they got the ball back. So probably how they were able to make it more interesting because of those kind of plays.
Yeah, they got some athletes. They brought in a lot of transfers, and, some of these guys had played for Barry Odom in the past, so they knew what to expect. So kind of going through that transition, just looking at the rosters and putting together my depth charts, you notice a lot of young guys, a lot of sophomores out there, and a few seniors mixed in, but overall, they're a pretty young football team that's, best football's ahead of them. They fought hard, but bottom line is they're still 2-7.
I agree. I think they did bring in some good transfers with them. They're well coached.
A lot of them. 54 transfers.
They're well coached. They're going to play hard, but guys are not good enough.
Ohio State is a heavy favorite. Coach Cooper, what would you tell your teams when they were in this position late in the season on the road against someone everyone knew you were supposed to handle? What did you say to your teams?
Same thing we're doing right now. Right now, Coach talked about it today. You go out there this week and get better. We're going to take their best shot. There's no question about it. We don't know what the weather's going to be like. We can't beat ourselves. You can't turn the ball over. We got to get better and better and better. I'd like to see us put them away earlier and play more players in the second half.
We have talked with Tim May about this last hour. We've seen some strange things happen at Purdue over the years, heck, going back to 84. Is it worth bringing up to anybody that there's been some weird things happen over there?
Well, it was just, Skip, as you brought that up, I was thinking about the one game, and I don't remember the exact year. It was when Terrell Pryor was the starting quarterback, and he had a bunch of turnovers, and Ohio State still had a chance. But you guys will remember this. The stadium was about half full, and at halftime, the word went around West Lafayette that the Boilermakers might upset the Buckeyes, and people start streaming into that stadium like they were giving away government cheese. And all of a sudden, they got in there, and they saw Purdue pull off an upset. And remember, we were on the way home, and we stopped at a convenience store, and people thought, is there some rock stars on that bus or something like that?
Just Jim Lachey.
No rock stars, but we live a rock star life on the way home.
Sometimes.
With the buffet, so we have. But no, it's I think Purdue is a team that can every once in a while bounce up and have some of those years. But Joe Tiller, I mean,
he changed things.
Exactly, he was a heck of a coach. Had some great talent, hard nosed. He always had some good defensive talent too. They could step up and make some plays. So they've had athletes over the years. There's no question about that. But 18 was kind of one of those strange situations where didn't know what to get, but. Ohio State, it's not a night game. There's no stories before the game. I know that there was a gentleman or a young kid that was battling cancer in that game. And I remember
Tyler Trent. Yes.
Tyler Trent. I remember reading and listening to that as I was driving over. I remember driving over there and just thinking, man, that's a tough story. And then just to see how emotional they were, and they came out and played with emotion and got the win.
We got to put them away early, play a lot of players, and don't get anybody hurt.
Seems odd to say this, but a rare game on grass versus turf. And I know that they practice on it, but does it change anything besides maybe your shoes, Jim?
They have 2 grass fields over to Woody Hayes. So, yeah, it shouldn't. Now, this is I guess, temperate Bermuda grass that they have there. So somehow you can grow it up north Bermuda, and they got to figure it out up there. But
when did they mow it the last time?
yeah, that's right.
Those engineers know what they're doing over there.
Right. It'll be 4 inches long.
A couple of Buckeyes in the NFL news and notes to take us home, Jim.
Yeah, well, it was a good day for Ohio State rookie NFLers. Cody Simon had a nice game. Denzel Burke had an interception. Jack Sawyer came up with an INT. Lathan Ransom had 6 tackles for the Panthers. So for those guys that are just rookies, they're all starting to come alive here in Week 9. Tough news for C.J. Stroud. Got knocked out with concussion. Marshawn Lattimore tore his ACL, so he's going to be done for the Commanders. Terry McLaurin was already out for the Commanders. And how about old Joey Bosa, man? 5 quarterback hits, 9 pressures against America's team, the Chiefs. And so it was fun to see him step up. And then the game I went to, Jackson Smith and Jigba had 7 receptions, 119 yards in the game as they Seahawks dominated the Commanders.
Well, Bob Trumpy passed away Sunday, former Bengal tight end, long-time television radio career after that, collegiately at Illinois, then out to Utah, but obviously a fixture in Southwest Ohio.
Worked with Bob for a little bit. Yeah. There was nobody who was more prepared than Bob Trumpy when he did Sports Talk.
Guys, great job tonight. Coach Cooper, we always love talking college football with you, okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. For our producer tonight, Jacob Reimer, great job. And for Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, and Coach John Cooper, I'm Skip Mossick. As always, thanks for listening from Learfield. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.